my Lord Lieutenant, my High Sheriff, my Lord Mayor, Your Excellency, distinguished and honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses and join me in a toast to our outgoing President, Jean-Marc Desrosiers, who launched in advance several initiatives to improve our set of rules and articles. Jean-Marc, thank you ever so much for your excellent guidance and persistence.
Jean-Marc Desrosiers.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, standing here at this podium is a very special moment for me. I have attended more than 20 ICA dinners, but I never imagined in my remotest thoughts that I would stand here one night to address you as your president. I am delighted and deeply honored, even more so as we are celebrating the 175th anniversary of our association. During the last couple of days, the historic, long-lasting and distinguished reputation of the ICA has been extensively presented and duly honored. Nevertheless, let me add a few personal thoughts. The period in the mid-19th century when the Liverpool Cotton Brokers Association was founded was also the beginning of an era of industrialization. Many crucial inventions took place. Machines were developed and transportation completely changed, thanks to the fast-growing railway system. At the same time, the political landscape changed, especially on the European continent. Based on the economic development, new political and social ideas developed, also in my home country. At that time, the third generation of my family was already getting ready to enter our cotton trading business, which had been established in 1788. In 1848, 7 years after the foundation of the Liverpool Cotton Broker Association, Switzerland was established as a federal state with its first constitution. In the years leading up to this, the different regions had opposing political ideas and did not shy away from pointing guns at each other. Today's peaceful Switzerland was a hotbed of revolution then. Imagine. But finally, they all signed the constitution based on respect for the diverse languages and cultures, which also meant strict neutrality and impartiality. With all the drawbacks, we seemingly managed quite well, as Winston Churchill acknowledged in a letter to Anthony Eden. Of all the neutrals, Switzerland has the greatest right to distinction. So one could say, impartiality is in our blood and runs through our veins. The same impartiality the Liverpool Cotton Broker Association has subscribed to from its start. The fit with my own national tradition couldn't be better. As early as 1840, the brokers in Liverpool had already developed their arbitration system to deal with disputes between buyers and sellers. The arbitration system was quick, simple, and infinitely superior to the time-consuming legal system. 170 years later, our rules and bylaws are still based on the same principles, and the advantages are still the same today. The trade did not and does not function with some basic rules and a dispute-resolving system. Both need to be respected and honored by all participants, whether they are in the same country or continent or spread out around the globe. Liverpool was for a long time the world's most important place for the physical cotton trade. Here, The first modern future contract for hedging purposes was established, and the basis milling contract was invented. The association's impartial arbitration system ensured the longevity of the market. During the 20th century, many traditional British industries, including the textile industry, started to decline. The British economy, however, continued to flourish by reinventing itself as a global hub for finance and trading. Our association followed this trend. Changes were made to adapt to the new environment, which after the two world wars became more and more subject to governmental influence, subsidies, and duties. After 122 years of existence, the Liverpool Cotton Association, as it was called at that time, had to be relaunched and reinvented in 1962-63. The core mission was described as to serve and provide impartial expert services based on the long-established trading rules, arbitration services, and this is most important, the maintenance of a high standard of trading practices. It was not the last time the association underwent changes. It had to make its arbitration system more transparent and professional, and to engage in continuous training for arbitrators and members. But first and foremost, it had to become a truly international association, also by name. Our association can be rightly proud of having succeeded in becoming international while preserving some of the best British traditions. The increasing complexity of globalized trade, the ongoing increase of worldwide regulations and laws have left its mark in our rules and bylaws, which have been constantly amended and reformed over the years. Our top target has always been and remains to have a rule book which is clear, precise, consistent in itself, but also fair and impartial. But we must also recognize that there is a need for stability. Rules cannot be changed constantly. Like in football, we shouldn't be moving the goalposts during the game. Besides, no set of articles and rules can cover all eventualities. Overly detailed regulation can easily become counterproductive. We shouldn't try to regulate everything, but leave some matters to common sense. Our way forward needs to be one of consolidation and digestion. Let us shift the gear lower and try to reach out to our members and users in a concentrated and collaborative effort. Even the best set of rules need to be understood and internalized in order to be effective. Everyone must understand his rights and obligations, our ethics and principles, and the impacts and consequences of misbehavior. While the long-term interest of all members is best served when everybody adheres to the rules, occasionally the short-term interest of a single member make it seemingly attractive to cut some corners. I would like to state very strongly that it is imperative for the entire industry to prevent such corner cutting. Appropriate sanctions are in place and need to be applied to those who don't respect our bylaws and rules. Without sanctity of contracts, our business is dead. We have to be strict against violators in the common interest of us all, and I ask you all for your unconditional support. Our task calls for strong engagement with all stakeholders, including members, other associations, and authorities. We want to listen and learn, dispel any myths, and exchange views and opinions. We are aware that our broad membership brings challenges which need to be addressed. Cultural differences must be respected. but I'm convinced that people from all cultures can work together to uphold our main principle, which is very simple. A promise must be kept. Unfortunately, we can't rely on our own efforts and internal sanctions alone. There is a need for enforcement of our awards by the various national legal systems. This is a very delicate and difficult issue. Most countries where our members are active have signed the New York Convention and recognized foreign arbitration awards, in theory. Unfortunately, that does not guarantee successful enforcement. Local parties, courts, and politics aren't always strictly following the international agreements and find ways to delay decisions for months, if not years. As an association with its own bylaws and rules, our possibilities to interfere are limited. To get involved in settlement agreements would be against our neutral and impartial position. However, we can meet with the responsible authorities and local associations to let them understand the importance of successful enforcements. The newly established ICA Mutual shall in future give every participating member the possibility to recover some of the legal costs of enforcement. Those are not negligible, and the burden of these costs have been prevented members from starting an enforcement process in a foreign and unknown jurisdiction. I'm convinced that all of you sitting here tonight in this magnificent hall have the same goal: to strengthen contract sanctity, to support sustainable and safe trading practices, and to have quick, fair, and speedy arbitration procedures. But unfortunately, not all present this evening are members of our association. Why not? Membership costs are very reasonable, and being part of our association has several advantages. You gain a better understanding about the working of our rules. You accept rights and liabilities. If you wish, you can proactively participate in the decision-making process. And by becoming a member, you add more force to our common approach. Moreover, broader membership may also encourage others in your country to follow. This will result in a positive network effect of having more and more people committing to high ethical standards. So please, come and join us. Ladies and gentlemen, I am looking forward to serving and leading our association during the next 12 months. Please be assured that your first and second vice presidents, Salman Ismahani and Bill Ballanan, and I will always be ready to listen to your concerns and requests. It will be my pleasure to work together with Salman and Bill, as well as with the officers, the board, and of course the managing director and the entire ICA staff. We are all bound to communicate openly and to be direct and straightforward, devoid of formalities. Let me conclude with another quote attributed to Winston Churchill. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And last but not least, first things first, get the champagne. And I would now ask you to stand and drink a toast to the city of Liverpool and the very successful future of the ICA.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Evening.